We are now in aspect four of Desjardins' discussion in session seven of impact of contemporary information technology on contemporary living. Here we discuss cyber technology and democracy, and we're going to zero in on the central problem of the personalization filter. The internet both promotes and inhibits democracy. It promotes democracy by making it available to persons to access information as well as to express their opinions. However, the internet threatens democracy by increasing the likelihood of that persons only hear from others like themselves, as well as access information that is tailored to their preferences. Persons can and frequently do select news programs and blogs that reinforce their pre existent opinions. That is called a personalization filter. This leads to the growing lack of information about others who think differently from them, as well as the growing ability, as well as to the growing lack of ability to engage these others in dialogues and debates. That is called the fragmentation of the population. But democracy requires the ability to see things from the standpoint of others, engaging them in debate, and having shared experiences. To drive the point home, let us point out two things. One, at a time when news programs were broadcast on TV, they were much fewer in number and had to engage and speak to large audiences, which meant that they ended up being much more factually oriented than opinion oriented, like contemporary news shows and blogs on the internet. Factually oriented television and newspaper news in the old days, opinion oriented contemporary news shows and blogs and podcasts and influencers on the internet. Second, the same searches on search engines by different people return different results according to the search engines generated profiles of the users. Right? Search engines keep track of the sorts of things you searched for in the past. They know your preferences. And so the next time you search, they give you what you would like to see according to your preferences. In order to be helpful, in order to keep you engaged so that more advertisements can be pumped your way. But at any rate, it ends up in echo chambers. It is clear that the internet and social media are excellent for promoting democracy by organizing political protests under various slogans. But do they promote or inhibit democracy as far as democracy requires debate, reaching consensus, compromising, and other aspects of governing in a diverse society? The answer to the latter question is less clear. After all, engaging others in a debate, in a conversation, is very different than simply speaking to like minded listeners and getting people to march under slogans.